Hey everybody, Nick here. Today I want to share with you my top list of Baltimore museums. So if you're a fan of art, if you're a fan of culture, you're a fan of history, there's something for everybody here in the city. And this is a pretty long list. So I'd say let's just go ahead and get started here. So the first one is actually my favorite museum I've been going to ever since I was a kid, and I sometimes still do as a 31-year-old male. But the B&O Railroad Museum. I mean, it's super fun to learn about the history of the railroads in America and the importance that Baltimore has to the railroad industry in general, the United States. They're fun, interactive exhibits. There's train rides on the weekends, everything like that. So it's super fun, awesome place to go for adults and kids. Second one is the Walters Art Museum in Mount Vernon. The best part about this is not only the exhibits and all the art and super cool installations that they do and cultures from all around the world, but it's a free museum. So if you're in Mount Vernon, you want something to do, go on a date that's pretty inexpensive, but awesome place. Can't recommend it enough. The third one is the Reginald Lewis Museum of Maryland African American History and Culture. I mean, culturally very significant museum for anybody, and I think it's a definite must visit for anybody, especially who's in Baltimore. It took me a really long time to get there just because it was in the shadow of my house, and I said, I'll go sometime. But once I did, absolutely loved it and cannot recommend it enough for everybody to go and visit that museum. The next one is the Baltimore Museum of Art, right on the edge of Johns Hopkins University campus. I mean, there's tons of exhibits, tons of awesome pieces of art, and just a really awesome, cool artistic and cultural experience. And they actually have a really nice restaurant attached to it, Gertrude's, which highlights Chesapeake and Maryland cuisine, and they do it super well. If you're a big foodie fan as well, can't recommend that enough. Next one's the Baltimore Museum of Industry. This one's really cool. It's also a really popular wedding venue because it's right on the water in Federal Hill, so you can overlook the Inner Harbor and everything. So this museum highlights, all of the industrial innovations and things that that Maryland is known for and Baltimore has been known for. So all the products that were invented and still used today and things like that. So it's really cool to learn about some of the famous things that we still use today that were all invented and created here in Baltimore. Right up the street is AVAM, the American Visionary Arts Museum. I mean, this one's super cool. They have all these funky, eclectic exhibits and art, and they do all these cool events like the kinetic sculpture race and the 4th of July parade. They're really involved in the community as well. Another popular wedding venue, but super cool museum, very fun. Always have a good time there. Can't say enough good things about that one. For the more literary people and historical people, the Edgar Allan Poe Museum, I mean, one of the arguably greatest American authors of our time, from Baltimore, really cool to see how the man lived and, and how he became one of the best authors of all time. And then for the sports fans like myself, in the shadow of Camden Yards, you have the birthplace of the great Bambino, the Babe Ruth Birthplace Museum. I mean, it's steps away. So if you're going to Camden Yards, you want something to do before or after the game, depending on what time, you're a big baseball fan. It's so great and so cool to be in, walking the steps that Babe Ruth had done growing up and, learning about his upbringing and his rise to becoming arguably the greatest baseball player of all time. So, those are my top ones. I've visited all of these museums. Some I still have to check off the list, so I might be doing another one later on. Who knows? But I'm a real estate agent here in Baltimore. If you're interested in coming and taking a look or living close to any of these museums, feel free to give me a shout. My contact information is in this post, and I hope to see you guys next time. Take care.